Hey guys, it's Mike Perna coming at you with just a quick video. I've had a couple of agents come up to me and kind of ask me the question as I readjust myself here. I wish I had more time in the day, right? Which is pretty fair. I think a lot of people, myself included, wish that we had more time in the day, and I kind of wanted to go through that with you. Good news. God gave us all the same number of hours and minutes and seconds, right? We all have 24 hours in a day. Right. What I'm finding is the difference between people that are quote unquote getting it done, hitting their goals, right, versus the ones that are not. If we look at their calendars and look at their time blocks, we find the commonalities with both. So is it about having more time in the day, or is it about using that time the best it can be used? Right. And sometimes that means, and for myself included, giving ourselves a little bit of an honest assessment and saying, okay, did I really use the hours and the minutes the way that they were intended to have the greatest effect? And keep watching this video, because there's a second unintended negative effect that we sometimes are giving ourselves, or we're creating for ourselves out there. And I'm going to get to that in a little bit. If we're taking an honest look, and again, I went ahead and just did my own little personal audit this week, mainly because I've got a lot going on in the work world, and I need to be able to crunch through all of it in a day. I found extra time in minutes in places I didn't think about, right? Which is not bad. So if I've got my, let's call it 2-hour time block for making calls, how many of those actual minutes was 120 minutes spent making those calls, or was it really closer to like an hour and a half to an hour and 40 minutes? And then 20 minutes of it was spent, if you're going into the office, BSing at the coffee pot. If you're not going into the office, in one case, I got a call from my mother, which is so good, so good. Always a great thing to talk to my mom. And that took up 20 or 25 minutes right there, right? The time, because one of two things are going to happen. The time has to be taken back from somewhere, or we have to be okay not hitting our goals that we had set, right? Those are only two options if we cannot commit to the time standards, right? And here is the negative unintended consequence. More often than not, I'm watching a lot of people, some of the people that I coach in my life, all of it, some of our coaching students, some of our agents on our team, all of it. What's suffering is the time with the family, right? So the who we do it for, we're robbing Peter to pay Paul sometimes because we're having the unintended conversation at the coffee pot, or we get interrupted in our day, in my case by a phone call last week, which is again so good and fine. And I'm not willing to bend on my goal. So that extra 20 or 25 minutes has to be tacked on somewhere in that day or in that next day, whatever that looks like. And if it doesn't, then I have in fact bent on my goal for my family. Simple enough, right? Now, what that also means is that time has to come from somewhere. Where does it come from 99% of the time? Time with a spouse, time with kids, time with family, time with friends. The people that we're doing it for, we're still achieving the income, but we're not able to spend the quality time. So I challenge everybody watching this video to take a look at each and every day over the next 7 days and say, hey, am I really adhering to my time blocks? Am I really doing what needs to be done when it needs to be done, so that I can achieve not only that financial life, but that time life with the people that I'm doing it for? That's the question. For a long time, I did not. And I had to look in the mirror several times and say to myself, hey, I was not holding up my own end of the bargain. Right. And I bet if you look at it, it's not that you need more time in a day, is that we need to be more purposeful with the time that's given. Thank you again, everybody, for tuning in, and make it a great day.